Welcome everyone to the Real Whovians cast. I am your host, Matrix Lord 212, and I'm with Philip. What's up, Philip?
Morning, guys.
What's up, Beef?
Hello, I'm in a Real Whovians cast of some number.
What's up, Vaughn?
What's up?
What's up, Matt?
Good morning. How are you?
Oh wait, we got somebody else in here. Hold on. How did we? 1, 2, 3. How do we fit everybody? One. Okay.
You got room for one more. Oh,
Randy?
it's Randy.
Randy.
Hello, Randy. All right. So the finale, the final, series 12. We've seen the trailer. We've seen something about the doctor pleading with the master to save her companions. We've seen her in this status thing. We've seen him say it's gonna hurt. We've seen her on the ground. I have a big fear about this. And my fear is that he'll wipe her memory clean of being the doctor totally. Not just of the companions. And we're going to be left with a doctor that knows how to fly the TARDIS and knows what the TARDIS is, but doesn't know who she is, and probably have to figure it out a whole series. That's my speculation, because Sacha Dhawan said he's going to do something as the master that may piss off the fan base to get him to hate him. So I don't know what else that could be.
Slap her in the face.
Oh.
Ow!
Bitch slap.
Bitch slap there. Yeah, but she spends all her time on her knees to him. So you know what?
Whoa!
Well,
Demonetized.
Come on, then we got to be clean now.
To be
I'm being serious.
Go on.
I'm being serious. In Spyfall, he told her to kneel. She did that. In this one, you see pictures of her on the floor, in prostrated positions, mate. I'm sorry, but
you probably don't.
It wouldn't surprise me, because you've seen that thing of her in like the glass, whatever, stasis thing or whatever, and it looks like she's in some sort of trance. So there's like a contact without consent, I suppose, for want of a better description.
Oh,
mind rape. Okay, good. Yeah.
Well,
whoa! This is really
but yeah, I mean, your idea that he's going to erase her memory of the companions, that's something that I hadn't actually considered. Yeah, that's a plausible idea, I suppose.
Not just the companions, though, her whole damn history.
Which would then explain the Joe Martin dog, because she got no memory of her past. So when he mind wipes her, she's forced to regenerate to get her memory back, and she ends up being Joe Martin.
Well, she doesn't remember her. Joe Martin, the Ruth Doctor, doesn't remember her, and
she don't remember her.
She
always remembers the past ones, isn't it?
But it depends on how this memory block or wipe was done. So if Jodie's memory is wiped by the master, right, and she eventually has to regenerate and become whoever she becomes, then she'll become that Joe Martin or the Ruth Doctor who doesn't remember her past or her future. She just is.
Yeah, like I say, it's an idea that I haven't thought of, to be honest with you. But yeah, my principal concern going into this weekend is that they do not do William Hartnell dirty. And if they do, that's a line that, for me, you just don't cross.
I want them to cross it, and I want them to do that.
Fuck you, Phil.
Damn it, Phil.
No, but it opens up another avenue of Doctor Who rather than keeping it stilted in one position. Spread it out a bit, man.
You could do stuff with Doctor Who. You don't have to wreck the past. His whole origin.
How many times do I have to tell you this joke? It doesn't wreck anything.
No. The people who are saying it doesn't wreck anything are the people that are employees of the BBC, and they're like, "Hey, Chibs, can we get some of that China and Netflix money?" Absolutely. Dracula series 2, baby. Yeah. That's what it is.
But I don't work for the BBC, so that's hogwash. So anyway.
Yeah, Ryan in the live chat is saying that thinks it's going to be the case of where the memories of the timeless child come back. It's all leading a certain way. I'm hoping, like I say, it's going to be a twist on it that won't do the past dirty. I do feel that if they did that, it would be disingenuous to, you know, we don't know how Verity Lambert and
Beef. They're
Yeah,
dealing
go
with they're dealing with the ancient past of Gallifrey. There has to be pre-Hartnell anyway.
Why?
Because it's ancient Gallifrey before the if they did if
They're
what
time
if
travelers.
yeah.
So you could travel back to that. First of all, we already heard that a Time Lord could regenerate into a child, right? So, like,
hang on. River's done it. The Master's done it.
Right. So who's to say that the Doctor doesn't regenerate into a baby?
Jesus.
Why not? Why not?
I'm saying, like, it could be.
What, a young black baby? The little black girl?
No, what was that? Brandon, he's white, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So why couldn't that be a future Doctor incarnation?
Or a past Doctor that turns into Ruth eventually.
Well, no. First of all, that was a male. Let's get this straight.
We now know
technically, wait. Let me finish. Technically, the guy was ginger, right?
Yes.
And the Doctor always wants to be ginger for some reason, right? Now, who's to say that could not? Right. Who's to say that could not be a young William Hartnell?
No.
Why?
No.
How do you know gray? Like a freaking ginger doesn't turn gray. Like, how would you know?
Ordinarily, anybody of any hair color goes grey anyway. Eventually, in old age. But I'm not going to go with that.
Because the kid in Listen wasn't ginger.
Well, there you go. That's
Surely
true.
because the first Doctor isn't immortal like that guy is. He hasn't got the regeneration structure in it.
So what are you saying? That's Captain Jack's son?
No, what I'm saying is
no.
What I'm saying is, right, if that is supposed to be a young William Hartnell, he doesn't have regeneration ability. All he has is the ability to regenerate, but not into a different form. Just keep
everyone's working on the supposition that Brendan is something to do with Time Lords anyway, because the fact is that he was shot and didn't die and fell off a cliff and ended up the wrong way round.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is something that I was speaking to Philip about earlier on tonight. It's a case of what is this? Why, if the Time Lords are making a simulation of a simulation, Rick and Morty here, what's the deal with it being 1950s Ireland?
I said that was an in-joke to do with. Everybody keeps saying that Gallifrey is in Ireland throughout Doctor Who history, so that's an in-joke. I think that is.
Well, I tell you what, that's taking a joke a little bit too far. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's Chids for you. He's trying to be clever.
So, okay, so it could not be the Doctor. It could be the Cyber Leader. You're saying?
Might be.
So he was something else other than human before he became Cyberman. Then
who knows? I mean, like, this is a conversation that I had earlier. That is, Captain Jack said something was sent back through time from the Alliance, and we're all working on the supposition that it's the Siberian. Yeah. So how do we know that those, if it was the Siberian and the Cyber Leader, that they didn't get separated or, popped out at different points in the timeline because one's organic and one's.
Did you not say that maybe it was a baby that was sent back through time?
Well, yeah, that's it. Because you don't know. It could be that it was sent back through time. Do you know what I mean? And it could explains how this baby just pops up in the middle of the road. But it's also a simulation of a simulation of a simulation.
So the Siberia, the thing is keeping him alive, is inside of him. At some point in time,
you just don't know. Do you know what I mean? We don't know.
Then we got Gallifrey, we got Ruth, we got the past, we got the present, we got how the Master's just there and he escaped from wherever and he's just on Gallifrey chilling for no reason.
Do you know what? The one thing that I will give a pass to is the Master, because the thing is the Master will just pop up wherever, to be honest.
Okay.
And I think the thing with the boundary is the boundary probably ties into whoever's approaching it. Because Ko Sharma says well, it seems different every time I've gone there.
But he's
So
never
whether-
seen like that before. He said
Yeah, he's
Gallifrey.
never seen it like that before. So it's not saying that it's necessarily Gallifrey that's been there every time. It's just a case of the people that have passed through. So it's not saying that the humans have actually gone to Gallifrey. It could be that humans have gone somewhere else. It's just this one time that it looks different, and there's this thing that looks like Gallifrey. And because it's the Doctor that's approached it, it's keyed into the Doctor's
I get what you're saying.
the DNA or whatever.
So you're saying that the boundary is like the city on the edge of forever, with like a portal that Kirk and like they went through.
But it's more tied into the person that approaches it rather than it being a specific place and time.
Or like the Land of the Lost when Marshall put his hand in the Sleestack's device and they showed Earth, they showed different things. It's like a portal.
It's key to the it's key to the biorhythms whoever approaches it. So that's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
So it's not necessarily they've seen Gallifrey every single time. It could have been something else.
Yeah.
It depends who approaches and where they're from. So if I'm from Mars and I'm a Martian and I go near it, it'll show me Mars probably.
Just to say there's always been a mystical wormhole like DS9 between this place and Gallifrey is a bit of a stretch.
Right.
But to say it's specific to the person who approaches it, then that's a different story.
But the point is,
and to be honest with you, you could have Ko-Sharmus go towards it, and that could be 1950s Ireland for all we know, because he's always said it's sort of I've been here a long time, and he's always going on. That's the thing, that his character is perhaps the most interesting everything of the last episode, because everything references with him towards time, that he's been around for a damn long time. He's been waiting there.
But is he a Time Lord, you think? Is he like Rassilon or something?
I think he's something else.
Okay.
Right. The thing about the biorhythms with that thing, it's a bit of a flaw, because we know in the next episode Cybermen are on Gallifrey, so somehow they go through the boundary to Gallifrey. So it's not necessarily.
So could this be a situation where the Master created a paradox by killing and destroying Gallifrey before they got out of the pocket universe? Like created a whole paradox because they're supposed to get out of the pocket universe and encounter the 12th Doctor. So in other words, he doesn't care. He just.
What if the Time Lord did get out of the pocket universe? I mean, out of God.
Well, they did, but.
Yeah, but
they did, and they went to the farthest reaches of time.
Right, but now, according to this, they didn't.
Okay, this link to Ireland. What if the Time Lord decided they're going to escape and they escape into Ireland, and that's where
it's like Asgard, like living on Earth, like people just melding in with Earth.
They built themselves a mythical village where all the time they can escape from Gallifrey for a while and hide out in this Irish city.
I mean, I don't know. There's so much stuff going on. It's like there's so many things in the background. It's like you have Ruth, you have Captain Jack, you have the Alliance, you have the Lone Starman, you have the Companions. It's I don't know what he's going to focus on enough on.
Joe, you know what? This here McElhenney character, and the fact that he seems to not know anything about from this boundary thing. Who's not to say he's not that Brendan character, but with his mind wiped?
Oh, maybe.
That's another difficulty thrown in. But he doesn't. But the point is, he doesn't look like Brendan. Every time he got old, they wiped his mind, and then so why is he extra old and they haven't wiped his mind?
I don't know.
Well, who knows?
I just don't want. I mean, I'm very worried about them just erasing the whole William Hartnell legacy and every other Doctor after.
They're not going to do that.
They are doing it because if they say it's before William Hartnell,
it doesn't mean that they wiped his timeline out.
Listen
it just
to me.
That,
they played a clip the other day of all the times to do with, like, there was a lot of things with regeneration and the Time Lords, and on many occasions the Time Lords said that this was the first Doctor, the first in existence. There was nothing before that. the Time Lords, the Lords of Time, stated there's nothing before him. This is it. There's no way. Like I showed the clips over and over and over.
Let's not forget, what you know is a lie. They've lied all the time.
But they weren't lying. They were talking to each other as if that was gospel.
But you can still maintain a lie.
Who are they lying to? They said that we have the third doctor and the second doctor fighting amongst themselves. We need to get the original.
They're lying to the entire society.
Why would they lie to themselves? Though?
Because it's a dirty secret.
No, there is no. You know what it is? You want it to be because you think that this is going to save Doctor Who.
No,
it's going to destroy Doctor Who. Do you know that?
No, I'm looking at it objectively, just in case Chibnall does go down that line. And if he does go down that line, I say
this will destroy Doctor Who.
I get what Philip's saying is that he's thinking that this is basically we're going to have this story that there's everything you know is a lie. And there's a lie that the whole society has been built on about how they got this, that, or the other. But also I agree with you in the point that you are basically going to chip away at the foundations of a show that you've had for so many years, to basically try and find a storyline that, rather than forge a new path, chip away at the old one to make something, which is, for me, is not a good thing, to be honest with you, because then that's lacking in creativity, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
That's the worst part, is because if you need to take something that you already have established and undermine it, so then what you've got behind you falls down to give you new stories, then that's a bad thing, rather than coming up with something perhaps new and innocent.
You wouldn't be undermining it. You'd be enriching it a bit more.
No, you're not. That's like saying, I want a loft conversion, but I want to take out the bottom floor of the house. It doesn't work because the rest of the house falls down.
Yes, the house will fall down.
Here's the thing. I mean, I'm almost sick with Doctor Who at this point. Basically, what they are going to do, and what they're going to try to do, and it doesn't matter what foundation crumbles up, they're going to do a hard reboot of this series. They give them clean slate. They won't have to worry about any of the canon stuff because they fell in that anyway. They're going to try to do it as a fresh new show. And the only way to do that, and people might not agree with this, is to erase the 50 years. And I think that's what he's going to do, and that's what I think everybody been alluding to. Now, how they pull this off is across. It's going to be very telling, because it can either be a shitstorm or it can be the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But it all matters on how he plays it, because he's safe because he know how to do old villains and stuff. He got Cyberman, but his storyline has to be solid, because if you erase the 50 years and give Whitaker a new slate, that's going to piss a lot of fans off. But if you do it intelligently and put it tactfully and do it so it can be subtle and not in your face, he has a chance.
But it's like going to the roulette table, at Atlantic City, and saying, "Good evening, sir. My name is Chris Chibnall, and I'd like to exchange 57 years worth of show to chips, please, and I'm going to bet it all on number 27."
Yep,
it's going to go one way or the other.
Yeah, but do you know what? If he does it, it's a brave move. Irrespective of what people think or what fans will say or do about it, at least he's doing something different. Doctor Who needs a bit of injection in it at the moment.
Doctor Who needs something different, but not at the expense of its foundation.
But it's not. It wouldn't do that. I can't see. I don't understand why you think it's going to destroy.
At this point in time, you've got no option but to do that. And like I said, to be honest with you, they could have done a couple of years of playing it safe, and it would have been better to have. Where they had said people dropped off with Capaldi because they couldn't hang with the old guy. Not my situation. other people's situation. But you could have
Mhm.
consolidated it and strengthened the foundations by playing it safe for a few years, which I can understand and would have appreciated it for the reason for doing it, and then made a shift in the paradigm. But he hasn't. It's a case of, well, I'm going to basically take it, smash it, and try and put something together with the little bits that are all over the table. And if it holds water, great. If it doesn't, well, at least I tried. See you in another 20 years. And that's the thing. I will critique and I will criticize it, but I don't want it to go away. I want it to be better.
Yeah.
And I will watch every week in the hope that it will be better.
Right, me too.
Yeah. I mean, that's all we can do.
Here's the thing: if you do that, and now you have a whole series where, and forget about her regenerating, the fact that Jodie Whittaker's signed for a whole series 13. So now, if she gets her memory wiped, she's going to know what the TARDIS is. She's going to have the memory of how to fly the TARDIS. She's not going to know who the hell she is. So now, is this a thing that he's joking about Amy and Rory returning? Oh, I would love to have Katie Manning returning. So now, this is like sort of a quest that she encounters, let's say, David Tennant. She does a mind meld. She gets all the memories of the first Doctor to the 10th. Then she goes and she meets this Doctor, and then she meets this companion. And she gets all her memories like a puzzle piece from doing a mind meld with everybody. So the series ends where she has all her memories back.
If anything, that's too complicated that they can manage in the current format, especially doing like a single show 45-minute episode a week. That's too complicated a thing, I think, for even him to
have a whole series on it.
Yeah,
no, it wouldn't work.
I mean, it could work. I mean, I don't know. See, the thing is that it's a lot of people complain about they can't follow the show no more, and I think doing it. I mean, I don't want him to necessarily take away the 50-year plus history, because that'd be an insult to that show. It would be a very much insult to it. But the thing is that if you have it in place and then do it subtly, like this could give her what she needs to act in that role. Because, I mean, to be honest with you, it's kind of a struggle. You coming in after 50 years of people doing that same role. Maybe this is the kick in the ass that she needs, because maybe she can now find out who her doctor is. Maybe she could play it in a different light, and maybe she can play it as, to her strengths. Now, like I said, this is a gamble. I mean, we talking about gambling. We already did a gamble with her being the first female doctor. That was a gamble in itself. So why not just go and just put all the damn chips on the table, throw in your cards? You have nothing to lose now because you done messed up 2 seasons already. So throw those chips in the card. Say, hey, I'm going to do a clean slate on this. We're going to start fresh. She's not going to have much of a memory. She probably will have, she'll have the foundation, but it'll be very subtle. We're going to see, can she do this with a clean slate?
Can we make something a bit clear here? Who's to say maybe she's not getting her memory wiped. She's getting her memories open. She's getting the memories that's been blocked for her to remember what happened.
Well, first of all, what's the name wants to take something from her. He wants her to suffer. He wants her to, I'll do this for you, but, So here's the thing also, too. Whatever happens in this finale, does it totally rewrite the universe also? Because could this be a thing that they're doing the Dalek invasion of Earth again, but now a new, so let's just say they do like a Crisis of the Infinite Earths reset, where now all this weird shit's happening, and you're like, wait, how Lex is ruling everything, and they think he's a good guy, and now shit's popping up, and you're like, what the hell is this? So could they be doing a thing where they reset the Earth and reset the universe, and now the Daleks are invading again, but she's the Doctor? It's like, to
be honest with you, I think the idea is that he says everything that you know is a lie. Okay, well, it was a case of something that is to do with how Gallifreyan and Time Lord society works, and how it's structured. That you shake the foundation of that, That's great. That's not too much of a leap, to be honest with you, because season he says that to the Time Lord, he says to the Master in season 3, which this year is a lot of allegories too. He says to the Master, "You didn't see what the Time Lords became. That they were cruel, that they were this, that they were that." So you have the idea that the Time Lords are far from perfect, that they're quite shits, to be honest with you. And when we see the Timothy Dalton wrestler, they're a dying society who are fighting to stay alive and continue through the force of their own will.
But why are we taking everything?
But what I would
says
say is, if you want to take the Doctor's character and then screw with that, then that is the worst bit, because you're screwing your main character just to get an easy wipe for something going forward.
But the thing is, why are we taking everything he says at face value? The Master constantly lies about stuff. He could be lying about the lie. Like, the whole thing could be bullshit, and she's just like listening to him like it's gospel. I don't understand.
Then explain the timeless child. Then what has she got to do with anything? If it's not,
I have no idea if she's to do with him or what.
Well, the one thing you know about the Master is that the Master takes pleasure in knowing something that the Doctor doesn't. I know something you don't know. It's like
River used to do that too.
It's like playground stuff.
I know this might be far-fetched, but do y'all believe that she might be turning evil? That's why she said something like that?
Well, if her memories are wiped to being a doctor, would she be the Valeyard?
No.
Why? Why? If her memories are wiped to the doctor, she'll remember.
You're looking at the
Valeyard. No, but I'm saying if her memories are wiped of being a good person, then
why would that be? Why would that be? All he's doing, he's not wiping her memory. He's opening her memory to her past.
How do you know he doesn't wipe her memory clean?
Why is he going to wipe her memory? What for?
Because he takes pleasure in knowing that she's going to be struggling with finding out who she is.
It doesn't benefit the Master wiping her memory.
It definitely does. It definitely does, because he could totally annihilate her. She don't know who he is.
He may be cruel, but that's not his style.
No, that's
How do you know
that?
He ate people when he was hungry. Come on.
Because the prime motivation of the Master has always been to A, prove that the Master is better, B, and put the Doctor in pain and know that he and or her has bested them.
So if he erases her memory, he bested her.
No.
Because
that's the thing. You have this obsession with memory erasing. If the memory was erased, then there's no recollection, there's no pain and everything like that. Because the Doctor goes on oblivious, to be honest with you. It's not the Doctor that experiences pain or discomfort, to be honest with you. It's the companions, which he's not going to take glee in. He wants the Doctor to experience distress,
something that you didn't
upset,
know.
And everything like that. So a memory wipe doesn't do that. But
would you do it just for the companions then?
No, he's just simply saying, look, I'm going to show you something that you didn't think that was real. This is the real thing, Doctor, and look at this. And she's going to go, what the fuck?
And it's going to contrast to your beliefs, and it's going.
But why can't he implant? They're time travelers. Why can't Why can't he put the timeless child there? It's a new memory only she and him have in that incarnation. Just like John Sim had the drums in his head, but the other ones didn't, right?
Then why destroy Gallifrey? Why blow up Gallifrey if there wasn't such a thing about it?
Maybe he put the timeless child there and they destroyed. The kid destroyed Gallifrey. What, Matt? What?
Oh, no.
Joe, no. Just no.
It's going to be purely simple than what we'll make it out to be. It's going to be very simple.
Because as you keep saying, Joe, if he does erase the memories, we view the Master and the Doctor having fun with each other. It's a sick game to him. It's always been. You take away his fun, he's bored. He goes off and does his own thing. He's got new people to play with. You take away that memory. Sorry, Vaughn.
Oh, no. You finish your thought.
No, it's just Joe. It's just if you keep saying this, that the Doctor's memories will get erased, and then she goes off and becomes some evil version. What does that make for the Master? He'll be bored. He'll just be bored waiting. Until
I'm
she
not
gets her
writing
memories.
it. First of all, Chibno's writing it, so I don't know what if he does that.
I'm gonna say this because I always thought that I do agree with B from part of that the Master sole function in life is to fuck with the Doctor. That's all he gets great thrill at putting Doctor in these weird positions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But also, I also think, and I have almost lost my train of thought on this. That I don't know. Go ahead. I gotta think. I forgot what I was
Vaughn,
about to
don't
say.
worry, I'll help you out.
Yes,
It's like when the Ronnie was messing with the Doctor, where he had a little amnesia, and she's like acting like the companion, screwing around with her.
Post regeneration.
Yeah, but that was a very small scale thing, just to get him to help, just to get him to help her work on the that brain thing she was working on. That's nothing. This is
But
something
you know
totally
what?
different.
I might be talking. I might be talking kind of out of my head, and this is why I was going to bring up a point or a sort of point in my imaginary stupid brain. It could be slight. Like here's an angle that they have not did. I think they kind of touched on it with Capaldi and Missy. But what if that does happen? I don't know. We don't know if it's going to be a brain swipe. It could be just something like a big revelation because I don't think
Yeah,
Chibba is that smart enough.
That's it.
Yeah,
Chibba's not that smart. And no, I'm not knocking Chibba, but he's not that smart to do something like that. I mean, it's too much thought behind that. But here's the thing: if it is the switch, then it will put the Master in a very particular odd position because the Doctor, if turned evil, and we're not saying that he's a Valiant, we're not saying could be a bigger threat to the universe than the Master. And they have not explored that angle yet. So we talked about gambling. That's another gamble. What if this goes like haywire and then she becomes like the biggest threat to the universe? And we have talked about like a coalition of evil people trying to, but the Master knows something for sure. And I'm leaning towards the fact that it might be something involving the Doctor.
We also got to factor in the Cybermen. They'll be on Gallifrey too in the next week.
I have a question for you, Philip.
Go on, sir.
Okay, why was the Alliance formed?
I had no idea until I see it.
No. We're talking about the Alliance. We're talking about the Alliance. We're talking about the Alliance from the Pandora opens Big Bang.
Yeah.
We're talking about all of them together, the Daleks, the Cyber, everybody.
Yeah, I get
that.
They
all form together because the Doctor destroys the universe, right? So what did they do? They created the Pandorica and they put him in, but they got maybe the incarnation wrong, okay? So who's to say that that's the same thing going on? They're trying to stop the Doctor from destroying the universe.
That's a big leap.
Why is that a big leap? Why would there be Alliance Team 2 or something?
Because this storyline is a bit more personal than Galaxy Reaching.
Why wouldn't this all lead to the Valiant coming to be? Because now you have new Doctors here.
Listen, for one, Jojo, the Valiant has no place in Doctor Who at this time in existence.
Well, we sure had it in Matt Smith's time when it was mentioned by the Great Intelligence that he's still coming.
That was just name dropping. Nothing more, nothing less.
No, he's still coming.
No, that was just name dropping.
That's like saying the Celestial Toymaker is going to show up.
Different.
But here's
the thing.
This is personal. This is personal. Everything with the Master is personal when it comes to the Doctor. Yeah.
Yeah.
And when the Doctor was more evil than the Master, what did the Master do? Team with the Doctor, correct? Because he didn't want to be outshone in the ultimate foe. Basically, he's like, as I've always known him, the Doctor. He exposed him because he was more evil than he was.
Yeah, but
they're going too far back.
But then he was also in the Matrix and saying, "Check me out, I've got some wheels."
But we also have to take into the consideration that there was a totally different showrunner at the time.
Yeah,
exactly.
This showrunner thinks differently. I mean, I want to say that Davis and Moffat and Chibnall all think alike, but I can't. I mean, if he does that, then that's real good because that means that he does consider the history of Doctor Who. But we have to consider who's the the showrunner is and how they think and how their style is about proceeding.
and the audience they're directing it at.
Yeah, exactly.
So all this idea about, oh well, you know, we're going to throw in the Ruth Doctor in between, you know, Troughton and Pertwee. How do you explain something like that to a new Who audience who will necessarily have watched the classic show? You can't do that and realistically explain it within the format that you've got. So
it's far simpler to explain her before Hartnell, and then you can go, she's there, and this is the history of Doctor Who.
And that for me is the thing that I was just like, oh, that'll be me finished.
I agree because it's simpler. It's simpler to explain her before or after because if you go anywhere near Hartnell or putting her between Hartnell, Troughton, Pertwee,
it becomes
Breakers, and stuff like that, it becomes messy because you have to explain, okay, what led this Doctor up to this point to become her, and then go to this next incarnation. It's everything about Doctor Who, and this is I'm gonna shut my mouth at this is messy. That's why it's so important that they should have had a script consultant or somebody on continuity because everything about this show has history behind it. Every move that you make on this show has history behind it. You have little lead room to mess up because you're gonna have one fan over there say, oh, but he did this, he did that, and this other time, so why is he doing this? You're gonna have another fan saying, oh, well, what happened to this person? Or you have so much history behind it. So it would be good for them to do the brain swipe. I mean, the brain wipe thing because it will sever ties. I mean, because they don't have a continuity person on that show, and we've seen that Chibnall is on his own. He's doing what he wants to do. Fuck history, fuck canon, fuck everything else. I'm gonna do this whether you like it or not.
Yeah,
so
and that's why I'm not afraid of him doing it. If he goes I'm saying go for it, man. At least people will bitch and moan about it for a long while, and then afterward they'll forget about it and carry on watching Doctor Who as it is.
I don't know about that though. See, you are so confident that if they destroy the foundation, that everybody's coming back to watch it.
Well, I tell you what. I tell you what I will say to you, Phil. I tell you what I will say to you, and it's I have. Yeah, apart from my own personal feelings towards it and everything like that, is that you made the shift from Capaldi and going to, you've changed your Doctor gender. You knew that was going to be divisive, 100%.
And then eventually, we all settled down and accepted it. When the Master turned into Missy, everybody was like, "What the fuck?" Well, some people were like, "What the fuck?"
Okay, right, okay, hang on, stay with me on this, Sunshine. So you do that, and then you take basically your Doctor Who fans of this thing, and then you put them on that side and that side. You polarize it, and then what you do is then you basically take William Hartnell's Doctor and everything like that. And the position that he had, it was the guy who basically took the character, developed the character, and to be honest with you, there is, I think it's not entitlement, but it's appreciation and investment that this guy did what he did.
But you know what, Steve? The important word here is regeneration cycle. That's the important word of it. If this is how they're going. This is how you have to remember. We've known we're in the second regeneration cycle of the Doctor, aren't we? We're in the second one.
Yeah.
What is Chibnall is now saying there was one before.
So now, yeah, but do you know what? Then you're not really actually doing yourself any favors, because if you want to do something then that is in the future, because I tell you what, if you then say, well, I tell you what, I'm going to put a whole set of it before this, then you've got all the shit that goes after it that you think, well, actually, I can't really contradict that either. So you're giving yourself a harder job to do than as opposed to doing an easier job for writing stories. So you're saying, hey, well, I tell you what, it's a brand new, brave and exciting thing, and we're going to give ourselves all these new opportunities, but you aren't going to give these new opportunities. But what you are going to do is you are going to cheapen what you've had that goes after it. So the first, the Daleks, everything, all those other things, you are going to cheapen them, because on a rewatch, on a rewatch, you're going to say, well, the Doctor's encountered these before, and I don't know why he doesn't really understand it, and why do I need 6 episodes where the Doctor meets the Daleks and the Thals, and it's just like, why are we doing this again? It cheapens the value of the original.
Hang on, but we're always cheapening the show every time a new Doctor is born.
No,
because
you're not cheapening it.
Yeah, you are, because every time a new Doctor is born.
Because you're building on top as opposed to building underneath.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Also,
because
like I said,
you're developing as opposed to underpinning.
Also, like I said before, the first Doctor started encountering different villains throughout, the universe. Nobody knew who he was. He built a name for himself, right? So now you're saying that there were 12 before him. So wouldn't the universe know who the Doctor was? So that way, when the first Doctor is going through his adventures, he'd be like, well, wait a minute, I'm not a woman. Or wait a minute, what do you mean? I'm the only one. I just started, defending the universe. Wouldn't that create like ripples in time all over the place?
Say for argument's sake, welcome to the year 2040, where we all have flying cars, and some child watches Doctor Who by some strange random chance that it still happens to be broadcasting on something that slightly may resemble the BBC, and say, well, do you know what, I like this, I'm going to go back and watch the history of it, and say, oh, this is the 50th anniversary episode, I'm going to go and watch this. And then you've got this Doctor, that Doctor, all these Doctors that show up in Name of the Doctors, all like, well, this is a bit shit, because why doesn't it include all the ones that came before?
Well, see, Phil,
why make it more complicated than it already fucking is?
I was on board with, I was saying the same thing, to have her before Hartnell, but then I started thinking, like, you can't do that with this show. You can't, because it's a linear show. It's impossible to do that, because here's the thing:
it's more complicated than it needs to be.
Yeah, it's more. I mean, here's the thing: I was on board with her coming before, but because of a throwaway line in one of the shows, I think it was the Tom Baker one, where they said that they show images of these faces coming up and stuff like that. I don't know which
Morbius.
Morbius episode. And I said to myself, okay, well, that would make more sense. But I said, okay, but we're dealing with a show that is linear. You cannot have her coming before Hartnell at all, because it's already been concrete established.
Yes.
Fits to the point that he is the first. You cannot go ahead of him.
Look at the Three Doctors episode. They established that.
He's the first that we know of.
No.
That we know of.
Period.
Listen to me. Gallifrey is about to be destroyed by Omega. They broke the laws of time to save themselves. So they pulled the second Doctor out of time to help the third. They were fighting. They said, we need to get the original. The first Doctor. There was nothing before that. The Time Lords established that.
There's nothing before that, because they hit that in a lie.
They're not lying to. Look. Their civilization's about to be destroyed. They're not lying.
They are lying, because the Master said, all you know is a lie.
The Master's a liar himself.
Here's the other thing about this.
Why are you believing the Master like he's... You know what? I hope he sells you a car or something. Why would you believe anything he says?
Here's the other thing. Here's the other thing. And we got to put some perspective on this, because...
put the...
You know what, Philip? Professor Yana is fixing the rocket. Go on the rocket, because Utopia's right there, man. You'll be happy. There you go. There you fucking go, bro. There you go.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing about
become a phantasm ball. There you go, bro.
I'm just trying to brace myself for that.
Phil, three words. Phil words. Yeah. The Three Doctors.
Yeah. Look what the son of a bitch did to Bill Potts, okay? Stop.
Hang on. Doctor Who's always Hang on. Doctor Who as a show is always reinventing itself. Why can't it reinvent itself retrospectively?
Because because people would view that move as a political move. They would say, "Hey, this is a SJW propaganda thing. You cannot put her
Diversity
first because
bullshit. You're
it's
ruining
gonna
it.
be it's
She
gonna
may
be
not,
a
hang on.
shitstorm."
She may not be the first doctor, but she may be a doctor of another set of regeneration. Not necessarily the first.
First
but
of all, it's
she
a
is doctor.
disgrace. It's a disgrace that
Phil,
you've
Phil,
established her as the first female doctor, and then to take that away from her is a goddamn fucking disgrace.
Phil, which Time Lords do we encounter in the Three Doctors?
Sorry,
Which Time Lords do we encounter in the Three Doctors?
Omega.
And
Pertwee, Charlton,
and back on Gallifrey.
On Gallifrey. Oh, the Lord President, the Chancellor, all these other little young Time Lords that are doing their business.
Yeah.
Right. Go on.
So basically, the president is going to be unaware that there was a whole set of regenerations
He probably
preceding.
knows.
Right. He has all the fucking secrets of Gallifrey. They have the war room. They have the moment. And you mean to tell me he don't know who the fuck that there's a whole regeneration section?
Even in the Five Doctors with the Black Scrolls.
Yeah, the Black Scrolls.
And he read the Black Scrolls in the Five Doctors.
Who read them?
The president, Baruta. Yeah.
So the job of the time of the the job of the president,
which was in the dark times.
The dark times. The dark times when there was a black female doctor. That's what they call it. The
dark. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Look,
Time Lords are fighting vampires.
I'll find where Chibnall lives and I'll go around his house.
All I'm saying is there's no
with
harm.
A blade.
There's no harm in looking back into the history of Gallifrey beyond Hartnell's arrival in Tosser's
Yes, there is harm.
No, there isn't.
There is harm.
There's no harm in doing that.
There's definitely harm. The show is called Doctor Who. I don't want it to call it Doctor Roots. We're not supposed to know who the Doctor is. We're not supposed to know too much about the Doctor's past.
And let me just say this.
I'm just saying you will hasten the drop off of the show because you are going to further polarize a large group of people who will say, "Do you know what? Actually, I was indifferent towards it, but I'm going to let it go for the strength of the show. But now that they've done this, I tell you what, that perhaps they've taken a step too far, and I'm going to step away. And I will include. I would include myself with that in that group, to be honest with you. And I'm very adamant about that. That if they did do Hartnell dirty, I will step away from the show.
Let me just say this. I don't want people to feel like I'm against that type of thing, but once again, we're dealing with a show with a 50-year thing. It's not like they just came on the other day. If it was just like the other day, they just came on like 3 years ago, then I'd say, fine, put her at the front. They haven't, but the thing is, this show is a tradition in Britain. You cannot, people will riot over this damn show.
Oh,
if something like that happens. It's not, but no.
They will.
No, you have not seen what I have seen, buddy, on some of these forums that I've been on. There is even though it is good, I mean, I'm a black woman. I feel that was a good step in the right direction. But here's the thing: you're dealing with history, and a lot of people consider Hartnell the head runner of this show.
Right.
And you know me, Philip. I identify as a black man, and I will riot as well.
But here's the thing: we are living in a world today that any little step that you take is judged. So my thing is, I'm a black woman, a proud black woman. I would love to see that sister go up in front, but I cannot have the shitstorm that's going to be behind her. Because people will be. People will be after this woman.
Not in here.
People are happy with the fact that they changed it where Time Lords who once we didn't realize they could change it, they can now change sex. We know that. I mean, people. I was so dead against that. I thought, why are they messing around with that?
I was with you on that, Philip. I thought that you piggybacking off of somebody who has been a male for 50 years with no semblance of changing until the general who changed shape and Missy. So I mean. you
And of Corsair.
people.
Corsair started
But-
in Nightmare on Silver.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
whether you like it or not, you're willing to a certain degree to let you let it slide. But it's just a
Yeah.
case of the degree to which you let things slide, and then where you say, yeah,
But
enough is
I
enough.
can't. But I can't go up against Jodie because I mean it's not her fault that she got picked for a shitty season. I'm sorry. I can't go against her. I can't blame her for the acting because she's only responsible for what is interpreted on the page.
That's it. At the end of the day,
You
you're paid to
cannot
do a
blame.
job. Yeah.
And what they're doing to Jodie, bringing Ruth in. This should have been a character that was far. She should have been in the future, to be honest, because bringing Ruth in and having her upstage Jodie in that episode.
Oh shit, that was crazy.
What the hell was that about?
It's called Chibnall's pissed off at Jodie. That's what it's called about.
I mean, you being a woman and having to deal with shit in my field every day and in her field, that was a step in the wrong direction. You should not have an actress come in a bit part to upstage somebody else that's supposed to be your lead actress. So this whole, I mean, I feel sorry for her error actually, and this is my opinion. This is not the opinion of anybody else, because when we look back, we're gonna say what went well in this area, and it's gonna be the writing, it's gonna be the shitty scripts. It's not gonna be. And the fact that they did not train her she couldn't find her sitting as the doctor. So if they do.
But you know what, Ron? There's a rub though. If Joe Martin can upstage Jodie Whittaker in acting as a doctor, that shows that Jodie Whittaker was not the right.
No, you're totally 100% wrong. You want to know why? Because the showrunner told her she could not watch one episode of Doctor Who. She could not do this. What Joe Martin? When Joe Martin did, you're the doctor, okay? So there you go. You don't understand. The moment she was off, the moment Jodie Whittaker was off, the moment Jodie Whittaker was off, she, on her own, she was in an interview and everything. She's like, I'm going to go into America with my family on break. I'm going to binge watch the shit out of Doctor Who, okay?
That doesn't still make her a good actor at being a doctor.
First of all, she was told, she was ordered not to watch it. Okay, so if her performance was lacking, it's because she was ordered not to watch it. Now, how do you do that when you have David Tennant, who was trained to be the doctor since age 5 or whatever, and Peter Capaldi, who was a man that always practiced being the doctor?
Here's the difference between that. Here's the difference between that.
Joe, I think there's a tack on your chair. You're very angry.
Joe, it doesn't matter how many times she did. Hang on, 1 minute.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter how many times she watches back catalogs of Doctor Who. If she can't put it off, she can't put it off, mate. I'm sorry.
Oh, she was definitely different this season when she had to encounter the Master.
I don't necessarily think that she was saying, "Oh, don't watch it." She said, "Do you think I have to watch it?" And they said, "No, you don't have to watch it. Probably, you do what you want with your interpretation."
But here's I'm sorry. Finish your thought.
What I was going to say is, it's a case of, she didn't watch it. They said you don't have to watch it. Probably as time went on, she might have gone back and watched it. She spoke to Tennant. She said she spoke to Tennant.
She spoke with Capaldi, I think, too.
Yeah, she's spoken to other people that's done the role. And what it is I just think it's like anything. Do you know what I mean? With any job. And I think as an actor, it doesn't necessarily translate. How we're doing, Modern Age Nerd. It's one of the things. Sometimes a job doesn't work out. You, as an actor, you get a job, and do you know what I mean? It's sometimes it clicks, sometimes it doesn't. And it's the writing, sometimes it's just a job. Maybe it's just like it's not her thing. It doesn't work 100%.
And here's my thought on all of this. Okay, so they wanted her to probably come in as a completely different doctor. They want her to do blind doctor, which means that she didn't watch no shows before she signed up for it or nothing. They wanted to see could she create her own version of the doctor using her God-given talents. But that doesn't work in this situation because once again, 50 years of people playing the doctor, you have to learn from what they took from the character because this is a 50-year-old character. And also,
there are exceptions to the rule.
But also,
Eccleston didn't have to because he was coming back and he was starting it with a brand new thing, brand new sandbox, so he didn't necessarily have to. But Tennant was a guy who'd seen the rest and everything like that and took from it. Smith came back when he saw it. Yeah, do you know what? He took a lot from Troughton. He related a lot to Troughton, and that's what he took to it. And then Capaldi, Capaldi.
Capaldi's Capaldi.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Yeah, mad. I've got mad love for that guy. Do you know what I mean? So
and also, if they wanted her, it all comes down to the script and the direction. You have to, if you know. I have seen Jodie do phenomenal work in other stuff. They do not play to what her strengths are. She's more of a quirky type of character. They don't do that in this series. They don't play up to what she's good at. They're trying to make her something that she cannot play up to. And that's where it's failing. She is playing what she's doing.
There's the light and shade balance is way off. It's like either it's too far one way, it's too far another way.
And that's why Joe Martin's Doctor came across better than what Jodie does, because Joe Martin was able to showcase what she can do as a Doctor, whereas Jodie
there was no preconception. She came in and she owned it.
Yeah,
exactly. And I won't Joe like that. I'm just simply saying that Joe Martin shined better over Jodie because she knows what she's doing with the character.
But see, that's also come with experience, and also all these people have one thing in common: they are character actors. Jodie is not trained to be a character actor, and that's what we see. A character actor is the ability to go to any role and own it. She doesn't have it. She's more like a leading lady type, that whole type of theory of leading ladies and stuff, which in theory she should, but I mean, what we have to do now is just somebody needs to guide her for the next season and say, hey, this is what we need you to do. And not have her interpret it blind, because this is what she's doing. Even though she has, and what thing about Capaldi and Tennant, they was fans of this show since they was kids. So that's why Capaldi can go in there and do the Doctor, and that's why Tennant can go in and do the Doctor with ease.
And Miss Vaughn also, Miss Martin, is a self-confessed Doctor Who fan. She's admitted that.
Yep.
So she's brought that to her performance of the Doctor as well.
Mm-hmm.
And they need and you know what? With Jodie, they need to drop all this stupid, childish fam this, fam that. No one talks like that anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, it might have been a thing, about 5 years ago or less, but no one goes around going, all right, fam, let's do this. It's ridiculous. It's too childish as well.
I've been a fam for years.
Yeah.
No. It's a lot of issues, and they need to just, what they need to do with this period is it's going to be a year, it looks like, which is bullshit, and I don't know. But they need to sit back and look at the past 2 seasons and see what went wrong, because they need to get their act together, because this is going to make or break them on forward. Even though I think they got to 2025 was their season, the season end, or they contracted to 25 or something like that, or some.
There's a lot of foreign money involved, and what it is the money that went into it would be that they get the back catalogue, which would be all the stuff which is Capaldi, Smith, Tennant, and they have broadcast rights. And then if there's a new series coming up, then they've got a first option refusal. Mr. 212, Jonah from Hayden, he's asking to be added to the call. I don't know.
I sent him the link.
Excellent. Modern Age nerd. Because the thing is, he may not watch this. Now he's might have had intercourse with the lady. He may not have watched the show in recent years. That's it. You need to. When I knew him as a very young man, now he's probably a slightly older man, and that's the thing. There needs to be.
He's 8 years older.
Now you're making
8 years older.
Hey,
8.
look,
Yeah.
I remember Vaughn going back from long time ago in the early days of that Everything show.
Well, she was in
time ago.
early days of Whovians cast, actually.
Yeah, I was. Yeah,
And you went away for a while.
I went away for a while and
Hey,
then
look,
came back.
She was before you, Beef.
Yeah, well, yeah, it takes a lot to be older than me.
Oh,
It's just my baby face that keeps me looking so hot. But that's it. They need to get this direction sorted out.
Yeah.
The thing is, the criticisms of Jodie's first year would have, and that's the thing. You when you say this tenure, the Chibnall years, you say Jodie, not Chibnall, and that's the hard thing because you're trying to differentiate the showrunner from the actress. But it's just how it works out. Is the criticisms of the first year really aren't going to take effect until the third year, because by the time the first year aired, they'd already written this year.
Yep. You got a point there.
It went out in October. They had already written it to go into production at the start of 20. What was it? 2019?
Well, series 11 and 12 were written at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, when like the first year had finished airing, they had already written the next year to go into production in January. This one, they're going to have like 2 years worth of feedback before they go into production at the end of summer this year. It will be a different thing, but is it too little, too late? That's the thing that you need to do. And as much as you have one opinion, how Philip has a different opinion, where you already have such a polarized viewing audience, which is like, I can hang with this doctor, I can't hang with this doctor, and then you're gonna take Grandpappy, Mr. Hartnell, much love, and then you're gonna do the guy dirty and everything like that. There's gonna be an element that are gonna be on that side and say, no, sorry, I'm going from this side of the room over to the other side of the room. It's like, well, who's left now? Who's left now? Because I tell you what, it ain't gonna be little kids, because the only relation I can make is to like my kids, and my son, let's see, 2000, he's 14. My son is 14 years old, so we were bang up Doctor Who bros all the way, ride or die and everything like that. We're there at the Deep Breath screening when Capaldi showed up. We're there for the Capaldi years. He's gone back, he's watched the classics, he's gone back and watched everything like that. Jodie thing, first season, dropped off, couldn't be bothered.
That's the problem.
And guess
Nobody
what?
can keep it up.
Guess what? The show's come back. You gonna watch it? Yeah, I'll get to it. Not bothered.
Well, my boys, Joe
and he's got friends. He's got friends, who, by proxy of him and me, and we talk when they come round to the house and everything like that. I talk about Who with them, classics, new Who, everything like that. And it's the same thing. It's sort of like, what do you think of it? I'm not feeling it. And he says, same thing. That 14-year-old boys.
Yep.
If they're not feeling it, I've got girls as well. Don't get me wrong, they're slightly older, but it's not a case of they're saying, well, girl power, let's go watch this. No, it's not a case of that.
Like
so I don't know who do you want to watch it now?
Yeah.
Because then you've got to say, well, come back. And
right now, like Joe watches it, but Anthony don't watch it. Yeah. Anthony dropped off. The woman Capaldi, that was it. He stopped. Joe still watches it. So,
he dropped off during Capaldi.
Anthony just dropped off. He watched Capaldi, but then that was it. He didn't stick around.
Well, that's good, because if he dropped off during Capaldi, I'll disown him.
No. There's Vaughn. Okay, she came back.
Yeah. I keep hitting the back button. Like on the other one, I could back out, but this one, it just takes me out of the whole thing.
Yeah, I'd also love to hear Hayden's opinion on this as well.
I sent a link. I don't know if he's familiar with StreamYard. I know some people had trouble with it. I know Charlie had trouble with it.
Google Chrome is your friend.
Yes.
As opposed to Internet Explorers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Von, right?
Yes. Yes.
What would you say for you? Watching this year has been a high point for you. What ones do you say? Oh, do you know what? Actually, yeah, that was good. That was
for you talking about as far as like the run this year for Jody, or just in general?
This year's run for Jody. What would you say is the ones that have like stuck with you?
I think the Jadoon one, the one with Joe Martin in it. I think that was pretty good. I just think that I've been one of the ones that have been dropping off kind of because I can't follow it no more. It's like I come in and I see something, I'm like, okay, I'll watch it later or something. It doesn't.
Do you think the ones that the ones that have like hit well have been the ones that have like played to strengths, which is like something familiar? Like you could say Fugitive of the Jadoon is a lot like something from the Russell T Davies era. It's like that.
Something like that.
You get that familiar feel. Do you know what I mean?
I think the weakest ones were the historical ones because I'm not a fan. I've been outspoken about it. I'm not a fan of the Rosie Parker episode at all. I thought that was just. It wasn't. It was just
superficial.
Yeah, and I think because it didn't get the history right. And plus, it tried to say that the doctor was responsible for her being in the back of the bus in the middle of the night. I cannot at all deal with anything that kind of downplays civil rights because it was such a difficult period.
If anything, rather than playing to the civil rights element, it played for me to the end. White people feeling guilty. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do, to be honest with you, rather than actually just saying, hey, Joe, Rosa Parks made a really brave thing. It's this case of, I don't want to focus on Graham and the doctor feeling awkward.
Yeah, exactly.
Sitting there watching it happen. I want it to be about Rosa Parks and what she does, as opposed to them feeling awkward because.
And that's the thing. There were certain things that with Rosa Parks that I was in Joe knows this a lot that we talked about this that I didn't really like. It's just anytime you deal time traveling, and that's why I like the Quantum Leap. I know this is Doctor Who, but they deal with issues like that with a sensitivity to it. There was no outside interference. There was no Time Lords or anything trying to rewrite history, and they shouldn't even.
So that one should have been purely historical, as opposed to having as opposed to having the space races, because it's that important a topic.
Because it dealt with civil rights. It dealt with a struggle. My grandparents had to live through this. I have relatives that actually went through the civil rights movement, and I am in that particular history, volatile time in American history. It should have been done with a little bit more sensitivity than what it was allowed. So
I completely validate your opinion on that. That's cool.
If I could add something, and Vaughn could comment about it. Also, Chibnall making the writers write about Thomas Edison and painting Thomas Edison in the light that Chibnall believed he was, and trying to educate all these young fans to that's the way it was because Doctor Who was talking about it. The doctor's there. Thomas Edison was a fake, a charlatan, a businessman, evil, like he's Trump, he's this, and he didn't invent anything, which is total friggin' nonsense.
Right, okay. Well, I tell you what, let's mix it up because I know like Rosa, Rosa was written by Marjorie Blackman, who's a woman of color, but she's British.
She's from Britain.
In this, so necessarily her appreciation of the civil rights movement in America is going to be different from someone who's from America. In the same way as the Thomas Edison one. So do you think where they've made a lot of hand clapping and a lot of hand wringing and saying, we've had a diverse and varied group of writers, that perhaps it should be not just of color or of gender, but of nationality as well. And so,
nationality, yes.
So if you are going to have something that is like the civil rights movement is a big thing, and for someone who's lived in America and experienced the situation in the States, that it would have been better to have been written by someone of that. I can understand the Indian partition episode being written by Vinay Patel, because he can talk to his parents who would have experienced that and gone through that. But obviously, the ones that are based in, say, America, it would have been better to have someone who's got that ground.
Yeah, it should have been written by an African American writer. That's who should.
Oh yeah, as opposed to African European, African European. Yeah, no,
because they it's no. Oh,
what's up? How you going?
Can I just say with the Edison thing, right? What was to say that what you were taught in American schools about Edison or Tesla or anything is not the same as what we were taught in our British schools. They're totally different.
First of all, we had Yvette on here, who's a professor that studied it a lot more than I did, and she's like, "There's nothing out there that says that it was like that with Thomas Edison."
Well, I would have rather had an American history professor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm just saying, there was nothing.
With respect.
The only thing we had was Nikola Tesla wrote about Thomas Edison when Thomas Edison died and said a lot of nasty stuff.
Can I say this? The one thing that I did not like about the Rosa Parks self, they didn't mention the actual girl. I think her name was Charlotte. Jesus, I have to look her up. But they didn't even mention the actual one who sat on the bus and went through all of that, because she was the one. The girl was actually the one that this young lady.
Is this the girl that happened like about 2 or 3 years before the Rosa Parks?
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Because Rosa Parks was just the face of it, because she could relate to the white people and black people. That's why she was chosen to stage that.
Whereas her story predated it, and that was
exactly.
Yeah, I'm with you.
But the one thing I did not like about that episode was that you have people of color walking around in modern day clothes in 1950s Alabama or 1960s Alabama. That was not even allowed back then. And to be with, that's the state. I'm not even gonna make this up. This is the state of how civil rights was back then. You being with a white person walking through the city like that will cause questions.
Yeah. Of the white person and the person.
Yeah, you couldn't walk around like that. You either had to be a servant or you had to be a help. And even the help was separated back then. So, I mean, it's a lot of things they did wrong. And if they're trying to teach them, the only thing they got right is that people want to know more about that era in history. But it's just like, y'all saying that's the greatest thing, but it's inaccurate history. It's popular history in American culture.
Yeah.
Oh, hi Paul. I can see your comments.
I'm not questioning you, man.
I think that's referring to Philip.
Oh, okay.
What's that?
How dare you, Philip, questioning that?
No. Hey, your planet member is questioning her. Are you talking about bees, not me?
No. Paul's talking about me, but what I'm saying is I'm not denigrating whatever her qualifications are. But what I'm saying is the case of someone who's based in America, because European interpretation as opposed to American interpretation is going to be different.
Modern age nerd.
What's going on?
What's up, bro?
Yeah. If you'd like to talk about it privately, you're welcome to come and talk to me later.
Trying to get a hold of you. Like it's impossible.
Well, first of all, here's the thing: you keep dropping in and out off of Facebook.
Yeah, but I believe in comments. I've been leaving anything. I dropped in on another cast the other day. Beefhead was on another cast, some random channel, and I've gone, oh my god, where is this guy come from?
Well, I don't know. It's like I've never been away, isn't it?
That's right.
Oh, even Philip was on this other cast, and I was just thinking, what the hell is happening? It's like the world's still ticking, and I'm on frickin' Gallifrey or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're ticking over like the timeless child over there, and I'm just back here.
Like I say, I presumably you don't even watch Doctor Who anymore.
I do. I've been keeping up, to be honest.
Really? What? Have you just got nothing more interesting in your life now?
No,
like, not being funny. I'm old. My time on this earth is somewhat limited.
I'm just actually loving the vitriol surrounding this season. There's so much arguing on the internet. It's so exciting.
Yeah.
There's no smoke without a raging fire, which in Australia you're probably familiar with.
Oh,
no!
Too soon.
Wow!
Did he go there? Did he literally go there? Yes, he did.
You climbed that tree, didn't you? Damn it!
The after smoke right now. You know, we're getting that smoky haze coming through from the season.
Me and a child dropped there. Yeah, that's it. So what's your take on it, my friend? Come on, man.
Oh, you're gonna hate my take on it. You're gonna hate it.
Shit.
Oh, I'm gonna love it. Go on, Hayden.
So as you know,
am I going to say we can no longer be friends?
I thought that when Moffat came in, he just kind of threw everything out the window and just changed it so that, you know, his companions were the Ultra, you know, they were there for everything. It was getting a little bit excessive and hyperbolic at times. Like, Moffat would just jump to the end of the last universe, like a million universes after the destruction of our own. He just went there. He'd go to like a trillion universes before ours, like just the most excessive stuff you could think of. And it's like, what more is there left to do with the show? And I've been sitting back watching these theories unfold on Reddit about the timeless children.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to say, so I've only watched like half of this season. I've kept my tabs on what's been happening. But like some of the episodes, Child 44, I just fell asleep within 10 minutes. It was terrible. But the opener was pretty great, I thought. And the Captain Jack return. Oh, what a great episode. But I've been keeping a close eye on the Ruth Doctor theories. And I've got to say, it is interesting. At first, I was kind of like, ugh, that's a weird thing, because I've been keeping up on Matrix Law 212's YouTube channel, and
I'm glad you have. There's
a lot of
shameless plug. Go on.
I see a lot of about 9 videos a day titled "I was right." Shut up,
I
know.
Oh my god!
You're telling me.
And I'm like,
Joe, you need to calm down with that.
Well, what I'm surprised at is that there's only 9.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I don't know.
I'm getting older. Hey.
Slow down.
But I almost think that you know what's actually happening, and you're putting out videos to try to act like you don't know, like as a secret way.
He says he's in Staten Island, but he's really in Cardiff. You know that's true, don't you?
I feel like you're kind of like playing a little coy or a little dumb at some point, saying like, they're not going to do that, guys, when in your head you know they're going to pull down the worst.
Yes, exactly.
And the firestorm is coming.
You look like you're playing the optimist, but I think you know that this is going to be way worse than it actually is, and you're just trying to like save face, because like
You hit the nail on the hammer with him.
Me or him, because I tell you what, my language will be really salty on Sunday. I tell you.
Oh no, Joe! I think Joe knows what's happening. I think those initial leaks about, you know, I think it was all correct from day one.
Yeah,
I think
there you go. I think so too.
I'm actually kind of, look, you're going to hate me for saying this, I kind of like it a little bit.
I kind of like
it. Well, and that's why we sent all the criminals to your country.
As a kid,
Demonetized.
as a kid, I liked the idea of because I remember the Brain of Morbius when I was like 7 or 8 years old,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, so there's heaps of other doctors before, and then it was like, no, they can only do it 13 times, and I was like, oh, that takes a little bit of the mystery out of it. So the idea of the timeless child being the doctor, I think the timeless child could have regenerated into a child before that, so there could have been 100 doctors from years ago, and I think it puts the mystery of Doctor Who back into Doctor Who a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because I think what's the point of the Doctor's real name being a big mystery? Time Lord names aren't that big a deal. So if the Doctor's just another,
I think if you go too much into the past, though, then you're undermining the mystery. Because then you're you're obligated to explain Hartnell, everything that runs up to Hartnell taking the TARDIS out from Gallifrey and going on the run.
Yeah, I don't think we need to ever see that, him stealing the TARDIS, like Clara telling him to take the TARDIS. I feel like that ruined the mystery of Doctor Who a little bit.
You know that happens. Yeah, and then you have the little bit of what's it called? Listen with the kid and everything like that in the barn, but and that's it. You're starting to cross into that territory. But I think we don't want to go too far into that because the story is what happens when after he's left. Otherwise, then it's a case of you're delving too far into backstory about, well, gone away, had all these things, and then has to go back, and then we have to do this, and then it's sort of like, well, why make it more complicated than you need to? Because you need to do you need to stitch a lot of other shit together, make it go forward, then go backwards.
Yeah.
Well, then, are you saying
that? Territory. It's such a messy line to cross. And I'd say it is ballsy. It's very ballsy to do it.
Yeah. Do you think he's got the stones to back it up with, though?
Well, judging by his history, I'm going to say fuck no. Have we seen the last 3 years? The last 3 years have been a nightmare for Doctor Who fans on the internet. And
ain't that the truth?
I think it'll make it so much worse. Like, it'll be a disaster, but
it'll be a bit more interesting than what we're getting now. That's what I can say about it.
See, you think it'll be more interesting to do it that way?
Hang on a second. So you're saying that will be more. So by him doing this would be more interesting than the stuff he's making now.
Yeah. Because he's breaking the mold.
Because
he'll be breaking the mold. What
you're doing is you're robbing Peter to pay Paul and just saying, well, he can't write new fucking stuff, so let's get him to write some old fucking stuff. Because he can't write new fucking stuff. It's just a case of maybe the machine's broke, not what's coming out of the machine.
Right, the thing about the boy in was it Listen you were talking about? Are you saying that's a young William Hartnell's doctor before
Brandon you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about in Listen.
In Listen, where Clara grabs the ankle and is furious and superpower.
That's the younger.
Is that supposed to be the William Hartnell doctor itself?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
What do you mean no? What the hell are you talking about?
No, because it wouldn't. Well, it could do. It could be.
Well, it's
who the hell is it?
We already have an established idea of when they were kids, but they were young. They went to the Time Lord Academy and look into the Untempered Schism.
Yeah.
Because we have that with the Master. So that's not really a big pull.
Wait, no. But see,
that's not a big shift. But then to say we've got 13 other things that are going to be going on before this, it's all like, well, do you know what? Okay, well, let's get a new person to come in, sit down and watch it, and then say, well, where am I watching? Am I watching in front of him? Am I watching behind him? Am I watching there? Where is it? Just make it go forward. What's the fucking problem there?
Wait. I'm confused.
You know what? The more we go forward with this show, the more shitty it's getting because people are getting a bit apathy with it, right? So why not go back behind it and back build something else and go, wow, this is new, this is interesting, rather than going forward and going, well, it's getting worse every season. This is getting shitty.
That's why they did Back to the Future Part 4.
I do want to go back a little because if you think of Star Wars now, the technology of the future periods of time, like we can just jump to any planet in a second, we can build a planet destroying weapon in a second, we can blow the universe up in a second. It's become too ridiculous how quickly we can do things and how easy it is. So it feels like there's no stakes anymore because the Daleks have died billions of times now. So when they come back now, it's just like a yawn. Like it's like what more can we see? If we go back just a little bit, I feel like, could you imagine Doctor Who as a Netflix sort of thing, and each story, they're broken up into stories, and each story is a random different Doctor on a different adventure? Like, there's so many things you could do with that, and I feel like just going forward, you're going to get the standard formula of Earth episode, random spaceship with BBC corridors. Like, it's the same thing every year.
If we do that, we should give 8th Doctor his series then.
Yeah, we could, absolutely. I think you could definitely do that.
I think,
you could bring Matt.
We're gonna go back.
But I'll tell you what, Hayden, if you did that, would you cheapen every subsequent interaction with them beyond that? So when you think, you've got for argument's sake, Tomb of the Cybermen, you're going to cheapen that because you've already had that in some other way, shape, or form.
I know what you're saying, and
you're going to lessen the impact and the significance of what you've had before that.
Yeah, I know where you're coming from, but at the same time now, as we get forward, and I don't know if you see it with your kids or not, the further we get forward in time, the more those older episodes become harder to watch for future generations.
So I don't know about that.
No, but it is true.
Sorry.
I tell you where the difference is. I'll tell you where the difference is, and the difference is the format, because the format that where we have now is this constraint that you want to have a self-contained story within the basis of 45 to 50 minutes, whereas the you would say the classic show, you would have anywhere between 2 to 6 episodes, and you had that potential for story development to do that. So you could do that. You would have that, and you would have those moments of grace, I suppose, like Tomb of the Cybermen, that you would have the Doctor, regardless of what was going over, would have that time to go over and speak to Victoria and try and comfort her because of her family that's died and everything like that. You will not get with that. And I think you can move on. You can do something new. I mean, the Lone Cyberman or Resolution, regardless of how I feel about it and everything like that, they did something new with those characters to make them relevant and something different than you've had before. Yeah. And you can still have that to move forward.
I can still play Pong and Pac-Man
but you don't have to cheapen your history by going and just saying, oh, we're going to go back and do it before. And Trial of the Time Lord. Oh, by the way, Trial of the Time Lord, we never brought up any of the shit that you got wrong in the first cycle.
I don't think. I think it's an. I'm not saying that's the answer to go back. I'm saying it's like a novelty here or there.
That's it. But then again, we're now in the age of gimmicks, and the gimmick of where we are now is running out.
Chibnall could definitely be rewritten. I agree.
I think the problem with all media now is the problem is that the fans got too vocal and everyone started listening to the fans. So it was really be careful what you wish for. Anything we could ever want, they gave to us. And it's at a point now where storytelling's just kind of, all of it seems fan written. Everything seems like the craziest thing.
Are you saying it's like, if it's not my fanfic, then it's not canon?
Yeah. It's just like anything, like the most ridiculous thing you could have think of in Avengers, they'll do it, and it's like it's cool because like it's what the fans want, but the storytelling doesn't have any consequences. And you see in Doctor Who, like whenever a companion dies, they would just bring them back some way later. So it's
what do you know what I would say is I think that there is a real good balance that you can make. There's a real good balance you can make, and I think that's down to how you do it. Because you can have fan service and you can have blatant fan service. Blatant fan service is that you are just like, you know, they're going to want to see this, they're going to want to do that. But fan service done right is, you know who your audience is and giving them something they wanted that they didn't know they wanted.
Right.
yes.
So one of the best things about the last Star Wars movie was when you're watching it, Big shows up.
Yeah.
And and takes the shot and blows up a Star Destroyer. You did not expect Biggs to come back. Oh, sorry, not Big, Wedge. You didn't. Wedge. You did not expect Wedge to come back, and that was like fan service that you didn't know you wanted, but you got that and go, "Oh my God, he's come back!" That's great fan service, and that's down to maybe pulling out a stylistic type thing. To be honest with you, so I think
I'll just say this. I think I don't think Doctor Who's done anything in the last 20 years that's come near to the awfulness of The Rise of Skywalker. That was probably the worst, one of the worst blockbusters I've seen in the last 10 years. Like, I thought that was the Rise of Skywalker to me. I haven't even spoken to you about this, Joe. That was
I know.
That was Star Wars' version of Justice League 2017. I thought
Jesus
it was
Christ.
painfully
We'll
bad.
have to do an everything show on that.
But yeah, going back to this, I think again, because if you look at Star Wars fandom, it's so hard to please everyone. It just is. And if you do your own thing, it's going to be The Last Jedi. And
Screw that.
With Doctor
Good
Who,
analogy.
I think we're getting a little bit of The Last Jedi this season with Doctor Who.
I'm telling you right now, Chibnall has the ball. I don't think he has the balls to change canon like that. But if he does, he's not going to keep it that way for long.
But you know what? Even if
No,
he does,
people gonna complain.
even if he does, right, have the ball to do that and does it, it's quite simple for you to do. Just ignore it and carry on watching it as it goes
You
along.
can't ignore that. That's
Why?
a huge thing.
Why can't you ignore it?
Holy shit! You're talking like a whole fucking cycle before William Hartnell. What the fuck? Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, but
If you
can't
handle it, ignore it and watch. And carry
can't handle it.
we're
We
still
obviously
waiting for
can't-
the
Boy, y'all.
Dude.
Look, you can't
That's gonna
handle
be.
it.
That's cool.
You can't handle the idea of it. So what makes you think you can handle it when it comes along?
Dude, it shouldn't even have come along in the first place. There shouldn't even be a
Hey,
thought.
we're still waiting to find out who the woman in the shop was from season 7.
We
Oh,
did
yeah,
find out the
exactly.
woman in the shop was Missy.
It was Missy, yeah.
When did we find that out?
You missed it.
When was that?
They fucking said it.
What episode was that in?
Fucking Jesus.
Come on,
Help me,
Joe.
fucking Philip Historian.
What episode was it, Joe? Come and answer that.
They did
That was,
say flat out.
Where?
Oh, stop it.
It was a-
You know. Shut up.
I
Stop it now.
Ah!
Fucking stop it
Googled
now.
this last
I'm
night.
enjoying
I
this.
found on Google who the woman in the shop was.
Look at it. Oh, please.
I'm not even kidding.
I'm serious. It was fucking Missy.
Yeah, it was Missy.
And
Maybe
Capaldi
we'll
was even
say it.
talking about fucking Missy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best
So,
hot lad in
on
the internet.
another note, let's just seeing as
all I'm saying is that they do my man Hartnell wrong. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, Paul says. in
Man,
the chat.
they gone.
I'm out.
Here's the thing.
I'll find out where Chibnall lives. I'll hunt him down.
They
Oh,
don't.
my God.
They here's the thing. They don't. Okay.
I'll make him change sex, damn it.
Smear animal feces on my face and hide in his garden. Oh my God.
I mean, honestly, do y'all really want them to ruin this woman's career? Because that's what's gonna happen if they even attempt to put her ahead of Hartnell. Because that's like, okay, that's like a big F you to Hartnell. You're not the first one. This person came before you.
Yeah.
So I mean, do we really want? I mean, do we really want to put that on the Whittaker / Chibnall era as one of the worst that ever happened?
No.
That's unfair to Whittaker. That's unfair to her because
they don't even explain how the TARDIS is a police box with Ruth for crying out loud.
To be honest with you, yeah, she's an actor and everything like that. She'll forever be attached to it. And I don't think when conventions come up that she'll say no to the money.
No. True.
But what I would say is, it's this decline has been sped up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyone else's crap?
One thing that I can say is
what happened, nerd?
Is anyone else's audio really bad? I can't hear anything.
No, that's just you because your mic was just cracking as anything. But
yes.
the worst thing that happened is that the BBC really screwed over Capaldi.
They did.
And they never got behind him. They fell asleep at the wheel. Merchandise fell off. Now they tried to do this big thing. They didn't, He's
like, I'm going to be here for 10 years. Then next week, I'm going to be here till tomorrow.
Exactly.
It was like, what the fuck happened?
Here's the thing. Here's the thing that made me upset about the Capaldi seasons. They changed what he was. Like, I liked him as he was in season 8. Because that was the type of person that, you didn't want to mess around. I mean, this man pushed somebody out of the TARDIS or wherever. Yeah. That's the one that I wanted to see throughout. They wasn't consistent with his character. They made him younger, and they made him have a thing for Clara, which, well, whatever. I mean, it's just a lot of things that went wrong and then they tried to, this is season 9 I'm talking about, which is, I think, it had its moment. It had Heaven in it, which I think is a masterpiece because it's just him being a doctor, trying to figure out life's problems, trying to just make it through the day in that little time capsule thing, a confession down. But here's the thing. You see him playing 3 different versions of the Doctor. The season 8 version of him is the way he should have stayed throughout. He was consistent. He was right where we needed him to be. Then people started complaining, so they changed him in season 9.
I think it's Moffat. I think the problem is that Russell T. Davies always wanted Capaldi to be a doctor. Moffat said that's a great idea, and all of a sudden Moffat thought that he could control Capaldi like he did Matt Smith. But, like, he even wanted to do the costume, but Peter Capaldi made his own costume.
Yeah.
He was hanging out with, George Pertwee. I mean, it was just, and then Peter Capaldi wanted General Louise Coleman to stay, and it kind of put Moffat in a position because he already wrote the scripts without her.
I think to a certain degree Moffat got screwed over because Smith stayed. Smith said he was going to go, and then Smith stayed longer than he said he was going to stay. But what I would say is that when Capaldi's last season was basically, Moffat knew he was going to go. He wrote the show that he wanted to do, regardless of BBC overbearing and everything like that.
Right.
He knew he was going to go. Whether Capaldi had said at the start of it, saying that I'm going to go at the end of this one anyway. If you're going to go, I'm going to go. And his last season was superb. It was
absolutely.
It was an amazing swan song. To say that you do not get the emotion and the feeling by the end of that episode is astounding. To be honest with you,
right?
So the biggest thing is BBC have just fallen asleep at the wheel. And said and then all of a sudden Moffat says, I'm going. Well, what we're going to do, we're going to get a guy who's like a big flashy producer who's made Broadchurch. What can you do? Well, I'm going to do this and go do that. Oh, yeah, fine. If you think it will make it a hit, great, go for it. And then this is the situation that we've found ourselves in today, which is a very not good one, to be honest.
No,
It's
Because
sorely lacking.
Because they assume that because he did Broadchurch, he can do sci-fi, and that's not the case. Even though he's a fan of sci-fi, his writing is he had some good stuff when he wrote, freelance for Doctor Who, the couple of episodes. But I mean, most of it was out by a sonic screwdriver. I mean, do you really want somebody taking control when they only write out the Doctor using a sonic screwdriver all the time?
I mean, he wrote some nice moments with Amy and the Doctor, like he did.
He did.
Power of Three, like it was powerful, moving stuff.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Referring to the live chat, Nerdaholics is saying the thing with that. There's been all these rumors and everything like that about the police box. Yeah, I get that. It's sort of like you're trying to retroactively make it fit, which is the worst thing that you can do.
I know.
I'm with you guys that if Hartnell was done 30, I'm out.
Yeah,
Paul says Chibnall wrote 42 needs to say more. Well, he also wrote Dinosaurs on a Spaceship, and the Power of Three. Regardless of Torchwood, because Torchwood is a different dynamic. People say he wrote really good Torchwood, but Torchwood is a different, different thing because it's aimed at a different market. But to say, you've got a out of context Doctor who will let David Bradley's character die quite simply at the end of Dinosaurs on a Spaceship. You have got a Doctor that has no conscience, which is something that is contrasting against what you've got now. We're in a very sad state of affairs.
How many times did he compliment Donna Noble or Rose Tyler or Martha?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, even the Fourth Doctor complimented Sarah, and he was like, "Oh, I only did," it's like.
Yeah, but do you know what? You have to keep remembering, people, that each Doctor is a different kind of personality. They're not all the same.
But the companions are a archetype.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the companions are an archetype. Okay, Fires of Pompeii.
The companions pose. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry for that. I hate to jump over you. Okay, the companions are an archetype. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Pompeii, Fires of Pompeii. The Doctor leaves. Everyone's going to die. Donna turns around and says, "You can't save them. You can't save just one. You can't save anyone." And it's the companion that changes the Doctor's mind,
right?
And goes back and saves the family and takes them away from it. And
just like the Rocknos. Donna said, "You can stop now."
You've got Orphan 55, and no one gives a damn about Bella and her mum, and Bella and Kane. Could you not go back and say you can't find the Adric argument because the console was damaged in Earthshock, which is why he couldn't go and save Adric.
He still could have done that.
No, it wasn't because it was damaged by the Cybermen.
No, but you can still even after that event.
Well, you could say Umpty
I'll go back later and pick him up. Why didn't you do that? But he did it with the gay guy. She was quick enough to go and save him.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. It's inconsistent.
Yeah.
Tonally, it's wrong because it's a case of companions are. Oh, I don't know. Oh, yeah, it's happy clappy. Oh, I don't know. Oh, it's happy clappy.
But here's the thing: the companion's supposed to be us. We're supposed to be a gateway to the Doctor. That's what attention the companion's supposed to have been. A gateway.
It's the audience's identifiable character to get access.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But we don't need that anymore because we need to get away from 20th century people to link to the Doctor because it's getting boring. Go and find yourself an alien companion.
Yeah, that's what exactly. Exactly. Get alien up in there. What happened to just getting an alien from a race to come in sometimes? Here's the thing.
Still relate to the alien.
But here's the thing. They don't want to do that because it's just
yeah. I see Jacob.
The male
muted.
I just don't understand. I don't understand the show. It's like it's losing.
What's up, Jim?
it's losing its roots. You know what I'm saying? It's losing what the focus is of this show.
Yes, I agree.
Yes.
It's
I agree.
losing, it's pandering to all these groups. It's not taking chances anymore. We have earthbound shows now. It's supposed to be an escapism show. You're supposed to be able to come along with the doctor, have amazing adventures, and forget all the shit that's happening in your life. That's the show it needs to be.
Yeah, that's
But
the
it
pinpoint.
does not need to be. It shouldn't be a show that's supposed to teach me. I mean, it's supposed to give me more lessons, nonetheless. But it shouldn't have to be a bare bones, hit me over the head, you wrong all the time type show. It's supposed to teach you lessons, but it's supposed to do it intelligently. I'm not seeing nothing like that now. I'm seeing all these sermons, these preaching, the doctor preaching, calling people fam. That's not the doctor. The doctor should have no concept of what fam is.
And if they're fam, she should be able to talk to the Graham like they're fam.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Instead of she's socially awkward, yet she can talk to strangers and give speeches. I mean,
exactly.
That's a little bit weird.
It's a great pen.
my Donald Trump pin from Hawaii.
Jeez.
I've got pen.
This show gives a new meaning to "Ain't It the Truth, Ruth." I don't want that to be, damn it.
What's the scenario out of, because what are we saying, like a 95% chance that she's pre-Hartnell? What's the percentage it's not pre-Hartnell? Okay, and if that's the case, then what is Ruth Doctor, and what is the answer that you'd be most satisfied with?
The answer would be that something happened to change the Doctor's personal timeline.
Yeah.
And all women Doctor in the place of all the men Doctor. So Jodie is technically an anomaly of time now. And that has to be reset. And they will fade away like Father's Day when Rose Tyler and the Doctor encountered Rose Tyler and the Doctor. It would just get erased.
I would
split timeline, like it's a,
or it would be like the Master's year got wiped.
There was a split with the first Doctor, and we, he regenerated because someone changed time, like with Father's Day, and a new stream of regeneration started.
Like Back to the Future, Part 2. There's an alternate 1985.
Yeah. I would think she's okay. Sorry.
No, I was just saying, could Ruth be?
So in other words.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, so Ruth could be the 13th Doctor of this other stream, possibly.
No. Basically, it's like this. We know that the Doctor is born in the future. We know that Susan's born in the future. We know the Cybermen are in the future. We know the Daleks are in the future, right? But with all this stuff going on in the past, at some point in time, something happens where it will personally affect her own birth. So maybe she's born later, maybe she's born a woman instead of a man, and there's going to be all these incarnations in the place of her and William Hartnell and all that, and it happened differently. That's why you have different Time Lords you've never seen before, like Kat. Who the hell is she? Is Gallifrey more a militaristic type of thing because they have the Jadoon as their army? They're doing this. They're hiring the Jadoon. They're hiring whatever. So now it's Gallifrey, instead of just watchers, are they militaristic throughout the universe? Instead of just watching, they're just, they're going on missions, shooting people, whatever it is, to make sure they're the Lords of Time. So it's a thing where somehow the timeline skewed into a tangent, creating an alternate history of the Doctor, where she's working for them. She has guns. She's doing all this, but she's not about that. And that something needs to be reset back. So there's a reason why things from the far future are coming backwards in time. The lone Cybermen, the Alliance, Captain Jack, they're all coming backwards in time, like Madame Kavorian is trying to alter the 11th Doctor's timeline, and Missy got involved in meeting him with Clara, and all these different things are factoring in. So somebody's trying to manipulate the timeline. And when everything is reset, then, because every time they travel into the future, that could be erased. They said it with the Fifth Galactic Empire, that in Series 1, the Daleks totally erased that from ever happening. because they were a threat to the Daleks. So that future that they went to where the Earth is Orphan 55, she said, don't worry about it because it could be erased. It could never happen. So just like the Doctor leaves Susan with the guy, he can never revisit Susan because now that's an alternate timeline possibly because everything is different due to his meddling in the past. You know what I'm saying? And the Time Lords were always able to fix things where it wouldn't affect their timeline. Just like they said when they were gone, Father's Day happened and they had those creatures absorb, whatever.
This is too much. I really liked the Lodger. It made me laugh. It made me giggle. And if we get James Corden back again, I'll be very happy. And until then,
I'm glad someone likes James Corden because I can't.
I like him.
So what's wrong with the?
Okay, you guys go watch Cats. Yeah, right.
I've seen Cats.
If you want my personal perspective, do I think that Chibnall is going to do the dirty and go undermine Hartnell? Yeah, 95% positive.
Oh yeah.
Do I like it?
I
No.
so.
God damn, no.
I want him to. I want him to. And
what would I like it to be? I would like it to be something that would be the formation of the Timeless Child relates to however Time Lord Society formed, and it goes back to Omega and how everything how basically Gallifrey came into being. In the society came into being, and tying into the Deadly Assassin or whatever. And the Ruth Doctor is just some far-flung future thing that is to do with the Celestial Intervention Agency, and there's she has no recollection, which is why. And then you can still have it, and it's far enough away. It was a one-off thing that we've just done with shits and giggles this year, and it doesn't screw up anything.
That's easy to say because you don't want to have a slot into the past. You've got to.
Why do we have to erase the past?
You're not
or
erasing
change
anything.
it? Why?
You're not
You're
changing
the timeline.
You're adding to it.
No, there's no such thing as adding. No.
Oh God, man!
You can't just add shit to that.
You can add how you can integrate how regenerations and how Gallifreyans gain that ability. You can do that without doing dirty to the show.
But
you can. Let me just
ask. Hold on.
Thing is how you add it to
Let me just ask Jacob because Jacob's just sitting there. Go ahead, Jacob. What do you think of this whole root thing and the whole Timeless Child and all that stuff?
I like turtles.
I think that they shouldn't like the past. Like William Hartnell should just stay as the first Doctor completely. I don't think they should wreck canon. That's in my opinion and stuff. But I hope Ruth is a future version of the Doctor at some point of the future, not the past, because it would wreck canon. And I don't want to see Ruth be the first Doctor if it's going to happen. I don't want to see that because I don't want to see canon get wrecked. And that's my opinion.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
That's the point right there. It's because you're messing with 50 years of canon. You're not messing with a show that's been on for 3 years. You're messing with history. And you don't want to be the guy who's just retcon every fucking Time Lord that comes after Ruth. If she's put first, that'd be a big slap to Hartnell on them.
I want to ask Philip a question. Do you want this to happen because you haven't been happy with Doctor Who for the past couple of years?
No. What I'm saying,
like with Capaldi. Did you love Capaldi?
I didn't like him because exactly what Vaughn said earlier.
That's why.
Hang on, wait. Exactly what Vaughn said about they kept changing the way he was every season. That's why I couldn't get a handle on Capaldi because he was totally different every season. I thought, make up your mind which way he wants to be. And I couldn't cope with that until season 10 came along. I thought that's the Doctor I want to see, and I enjoyed that season 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you want that bad that they just wreck Doctor Who can.
No. All I'm saying, if they're gonna go there, I'm fine with it because all they're doing is adding to an already established law. They're not changing anything. It'll still be the first Doctor. It's just that they're more.
He won't be the first Doctor if you have all Doctors before.
Yeah, but hang on, he's the first Doctor of that regeneration cycle. Fair enough.
No, it's not. You don't do that. It won't be like that. It'll be 113. He'll be 14. You're not gonna. You're not. We're not. Now you're being. Now you're doing the answer of the politically correct answer.
You're looking at it like that. Why can't you separate it by regeneration cycles?
So why can't you call Capaldi 1 and Jody 2 then?
Well, that's what they essentially are.
No, they're not. There's no magazine reference of them at all. Of that.
No, they're a new set of regeneration. So they've got.
They're not considered that. She's not considered 2.
Why not? Why not?
Nobody considers it that way. Nobody.
Matt Smith was on his last body. He had no more regeneration, so he's done. And the Time Lord said, you know what? We can give you another set of 12.
Right, but you don't call Capaldi 1.
Well, well, in that case,
you know what? That's the only reason. Now you're doing common core math there. Now
the only reason Hartnell's 1 because he's the first one we've met.
No, he's the first one. He's the original, according to the Time Lords.
Yeah, and it's the first one we met. They're only saying that.
No. You keep going to the narrative that this is definitely happening.
Okay, fine.
Okay, so how? What do you tell us? What you know about why the Doctor left Gallifrey?
There's 2 different stories to that. One is that there was an assassination.
What's the one that we've seen on the show?
On the show, they didn't say why they left.
Not Big Finish. Not Big Finish.
No. Yeah, it's not been said why they left.
He grew up on Gallifrey and he left because he was bored.
Well, that's what he said. That's what the second Doctor said.
That's what he grew up on Gallifrey.
If he was bored, why did he just?
He went to the Time Lord Academy and left because he was bored, and also he disliked the idea of not being involved.
Right.
Yeah, but that's fine. So build a backstory.
Right. So first of all, right, if there's already been a set of regenerations, why go through the Time Lord Academy again?
Yeah, but how long ago was he at the Time Lord Academy? We don't know why. How long he's been since he's been at the Time Lord Academy.
That's what I'm saying. Why make it more complicated than it already is already?
It's not complicated. It's only complicated if you write it complicatedly.
That is complicated.
It's going to happen. Like this is going to happen, and you know why it's going to happen is because the way that entertainment works nowadays is that. Say something like Stranger Things comes out, right? You stream it all in one day. No one's talking about when they make things now like The Last Jedi or like what's another film that really Game of Thrones, it really divides people and makes people angry. They talk about it in the media for years. People stream about it and argue and make essays and talk about it for ages. So this will happen because Doctor Who's probably trending higher on the internet than it has in years because of this. And that's exactly
they're trying to stay relevant.
It will absolutely happen because they know people will talk about this for the next 15 months. Until
this is the thing. They won't watch it. They'll catch the clips.
Yeah, but won't get the rating because
you won't get the rating.
The traction in the media from just talking about it and watching clips will generate way more money than simple TV views overnight because you're talking about like the whole world tweeting and ad revenue from YouTube. How much money are they going to make off ad revenue from these clips of the Doctor's past? Like the clips from the show, the reason why the BBC rolls out like how many on the official Doctor Who YouTube channel clips do we get of old episodes weekly? We get like one a day, right? It's because they make so much money from old clips, from ad revenue. They make more money than reruns off of the internet nowadays. So, but from people arguing about Doctor Who, do you know how many more views Doctor Who as a topic is getting in general?
Even us doing thousands of casts creates interest for people watching the show.
Doctor Who, making people angry at Doctor Who now is making not only the new fans more pro for the new Doctor Who, it's making the old fans go back and buy old Doctor Who merch to support old Doctor Who because they're going, this isn't my Doctor Who. David Tennant was my Doctor. So everyone who loves Doctor Who's going to go buy David Tennant merch to try to show
David Tennant,
So Doctor Who's just pumping and everyone's arguing and they're not realizing the show's actually benefiting better than it ever has. even if what's happening right now is actually the worst thing they've ever done. And that's what The Last Jedi did. The Last Jedi, even if the box office went down on Rise of Skywalker, look how freaking packed the internet is with Last Jedi articles. Like,
But they lost money though, because people punished Solo because
they
of
did
that.
on Solo, yeah. But
ultimately they lost because instead of making $2 billion, they made $1 billion or less than that.
And The Last Jedi though was probably the most profitable. If you look at the whole multimedia spectrum, probably the most profitable Star Wars movie.
We're going on 2 hours. I'm just gonna say this. I'm gonna say that if Chibnall does this Sunday, there's gonna be shit going on in the UK like you've never fucking seen before. And all these fans are gonna fucking go fucking ape shit. Okay? And I would wear a fire repelling suit, Chibnall, if I were you, because people are gonna fucking find you, and there's nowhere fucking. Honestly, people are gonna go ape shit.
Yeah, but Joe, at the end of the day, if it happens, it happens. Eventually, people will die.
No, not gonna happen. They're not gonna. Who's got music in the background? Shut the music off, TV off. Who's got that?
I don't have nothing.
Chicks, is that you? Hold on.
Nope.
Okay. So I'm telling you right now, Philip, you're gonna fucking see shit like you've never seen before. People are gonna flip out.
Here's my thing.
It will die down.
It's not gonna die down, Philip.
Here's my.
Yeah. It's not gonna die down.
Here's my 2 cents on this, and this is my final 2 cents. We have to look at the long-term effects of this. Now, they're already saying that this is kind of like the Colin Baker seasons, which I don't agree with, but that's what they're saying. Is it fair to her to be labeled, their era to be labeled in such a way that it affects their careers?
No.
Doing this move, even though some people might want her to become the first. If they did a move like that, then it would have long-term effects that we're not seeing now. In the short term, yeah, this is a good brave move, or it could be a bad move, but we don't know what adverse effects this move might have on Doctor Who and on the actors and on everybody who's associated with this. Because this can backfire, and it can backfire really bad.
Listen, Sacha Dhawan loves being the master, but he loves being the master, but he is shitting egg rolls right now because he made some post saying, "Whatever you guys do, I really hope you don't hate me after the finale."
Yeah, what he wrote.
He may be the master, but he is really scared that he's going to convention and shit. People are going to go fucking ape shit.
He's at LFCC this weekend in London.
He's worried. And just because he's the master doesn't mean he agrees with what the shit is written. So I'm telling you right now.
I know. You know what? I think.
I like him. You don't like him?
I think it's fantastic.
You don't like him?
I think he's
I love him.
Good.
I think he's great.
I put him on a mug for the kids put him on a mug for me.
Von, I would say to you, because the actor, they know what they're signing up for. They still cash the paychecks at the end of the month. So
that's true.
But
I just feel like it's going to be unfair on her.
You don't sign up to a show like Doctor Who and think, oh well, this isn't going to be slightly controversial.
Yeah. I have a feeling the cast we do on Sunday will be the most F words in history. But
and I can't say that she'll never go to a convention and say, hey, could I have?
Oh yeah, I mean,
photograph.
But I always,
I think we're over scaring ourselves anyway. I don't think it's going to be as bad as we think.
Oh,
I think it's going to be a whimper, to be honest.
I think it's like, heart attack Sunday.
I think maybe what Sacha Dhawan's talking about, though, because there's a lot of rumors that Ryan or Yaz are leaving at the end of the season. I think the Master might actually literally kill one of the companions, which may be what he's apologizing for. Like, not an apology to the fans of, like, I'm sorry for being a part of ruining the show. Well, I'm sorry for playing a character that killed one of the companions, which is very possible.
Yeah,
the Doctor looks very mad at the Master. She's like tackling. Maybe they're just kissing on the floor. Maybe they're hooking up. Maybe and she tackles him.
Well,
listen, if I see Ryan on a bicycle and the Master kicking him off the cliff, I'm like, oh, you got to ride it at least. No.
But to answer your question, because I didn't answer the part with Ruth. I think that she's from an alternate. I think the time streams are collapsing on each other.
Yes.
So I think she's
Yeah, but
in an
Chibnall
alternate.
said, said she's a definitive doctor in this.
No.
there's
He didn't say definitive. He said she's not from an alternate timeline.
Yeah.
Meaning that our timeline is wrong. So, like, Jodie's
No,
wrong
he
in
didn't say
our
that. He
timeline,
didn't
and that's
say that.
she's in the right time.
But see,
No,
how
he
my
didn't say
question
that.
my question
didn't
would
say she
be
was
is
the first.
how that ties in with Capaldi then, because would that make him irrelevant? Because we're assuming that he regenerated into Jodie.
Well, if the Master killed Gallifrey before they escaped the Pocket Universe, that means that Gallifrey didn't give regeneration energy to the 11th, and then Capaldi wouldn't come to be, and then Jodie wouldn't come to be, and it's a paradox.
They'll never
there you
explain
go.
that. They never explain in detail the things we need to know. They just
exactly.
always skip over it. They never.
They
even-
have to. Maybe the Master destroyed Gallifrey and back in time before they left. Because if that's the case, then there's a paradox.
And Nerdaholics, you better have some tissues. I've just got this feeling Graham's gone.
I got my tissues ready. It's gonna be a friggin' rainy day. That's for sure. All right.
When Yaz turns around and says, "You've come a long way, Graham," and pats him on the arm, she might as well have been wearing a black robe and carrying her side.
That's right. All right. We're gonna get out of here. Thank you guys. Appreciate it, Hayden, everybody. Take care. Bye for now.
Bye.